Looks like Portland State in dark will be going right to left. Washington B in white, left to right. Portland State having a turnaround season. Last year went 1-10 overall. Won 3 of its first 4 games this season. And it'll be possession Huskies going left to right. So far, the winner of our first 2 games today each had 10 or more goals. Previous game, Washington A defeated Western Washington 18-3. Will hurl the pearl to the left side and through. And Washington B off to a good start. (1-0) in favor of Washington B. This time we'll see the Vikings of PSU on offense. As you see, there are 2 small cones. The one closest to mid-pool is 5 meter. The one closest to the end line is 2 meter. Should be possession Washington B. Annie Shoemaker is the one defending the goal for the Huskies. Goal was scored by Hannah Sokol, assisted by Katie Snell. So 1-0 Washington B. And it will go the other way. Possession Portland State. Going right to left. Portland State, a 3-time participant in the Northwest Division title game. Won it all in 2013. Runner-up in 2014 and 15. That's going to be an exclusion on Washington P, so 6-on-5 for the Vikings of Portland State. First power play of the game. So perimeter passing, that is a wet pass. Gets the deke, gotta be careful for hold. Great defense right now. Portland State able to survive it. Could be even strength very soon. And it's even strength, so penalty kill successful. Possession for the Vikings that nearly dissatisfied the shot clock. Under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter, 1-0 Washington B of Seattle. Push off, it will be possession Vikings of Portland State. And now Portland State will dribble slow, trying to get a good penetration. Portland State leads the season aggregate 11-8. Make that 12-8 as Portland State ties it up. There's a good response for the Vikings. Should be possession for Portland State with about 4 minutes to go in quarter 1. So the Vikings looking to take the lead. Portland State's last goal drifted over the arm of Annie Shoemaker. Inside the 5 of the Washington end. And that's a shot clock violation. Well done for the Huskies. Washington B. This is the 3rd straight season Washington B has a club. For that it had been a few years with Washington B. There had been some time in which there had been only one Washington club. And there was an exclusion against Portland State. First power play for the Huskies. Six on 5 on the PSU end. Deflected but secured by Portland State. 0 for 1 in the power play, the Huskies. So we're even 6 on 6, 1-1 to score. But would it be interesting if Portland State and Washington B play a close game throughout and Portland State has to go an extra 6 minutes for the second straight day? 2 minutes and change to go in the period. 10 seconds in the shot clock. It will remain with the Vikings. And that's going to be a foul on the Huskies, so it will be 6 on 5. And a timeout. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's Portland State 1 in the dark, Washington B in white 1. So Portland State out of the huddle. We'll have a 6 on 5 power play. With about 2 minutes to go in the quarter, the first quarter. This is our third game of the day. There were 8 games scheduled. We are scheduled to do the first 4. I believe 2 of the 4 games we're not scheduled to cover will go down as forfeits, since those are schools A and B teams facing off each other. So 6 on 5 power play for Portland State. Good cross. And a finish! That's how you get it done. Cap 11. Or cap 14, sorry. In dart. And it's now 2-1 PSU. 2-0 run for the Vikings. About 2 minutes to go. Now an 13-8 lead on aggregate on the season series. Under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Washington B on the Portland State end, going left to right and white on the near side. Dangles against the rope. 4 in the shot clock. Gotta hurry. Off the post. Shot clock will reset. Well, should have reset. Great defensive sequence for Portland State. Portland State had trouble doing that type of play in 2018. That's why the Vikings have had a good bit of success in 2019. Now Washington B looking to tie it up with maybe a minute or so to go in our opening stanza. Wet pass. Backs it up. Washington B on the ball. Under a minute to play. Saved by Portland State. Portland State with the ball in the Washington end. Huskies come up with the loose change momentarily. Portland State had it for maybe a millisecond. We have a timeout. Back at this game, 17 or so seconds left on the clock. Washington B looking to tie it up. going into the second quarter. It's the Huskies in white going left to right, down by 1. Trailed aggregate 13-8. 4 in the game clock. Ordinary foul. Can they get one off? I don't think so. And that is the end of the first quarter. It's a low-scoring affair so far. Some stiff defense from both sides. After one quarter, it's Portland State in the Dark Caps 2, and the Washington B Huskies in the white 1. Going right to left in dark, Portland State. Left to right in white, Washington B. 2-1 Vikings. Portland State a year ago, 1-10. At least 3 wins in division slate this season. It would be a heck of a turnaround. Portland State in 2013 went 8-0 in the regular season, 11-0 overall. Then went 8-3 in 2014, 10-1. Undefeated in the regular season, but lost in the final in 2015. Then in 2016, 7-4 overall. 2017, 4-7 overall. Last year, 1-10. So this would be quite a turnaround of a season if it continues to play well. Possession for Portland State. You're watching Northwest Division action on the CWPA network, free courtesy of Cap 7 and the CWPA. So the Vikings going right to left in the Dark Caps. And the wet pass is intercepted by the Huskies. Here's Annie Shoemaker, a junior. And Washington going quickly, and that is wide left. We'll throw here for Portland State. Going right to left and dark. Portland State taking its time. Portland State doing a lot better this season. Although, right now, it's the beneficiary of an exclusion call. So it'll be a player up. 6-on-5 for the Vikings. Portland State lost its first game of the season 17-2 to Washington A. That won't go in. Then won its next 3, 11-7 against Washington B, 15-2 against Oregon State B, and 11-4 against Western Washington. So Portland State able to put teams away. It also had been on the wrong side of close games. Lost 9-8 in overtime last night against Oregon B. And that's a push-off, so that's going to be an exclusion on PSU. Player up for Washington B. So 20 seconds, 6-on-5. Huskies with the ball, looking to tie it up. Here in the second period. Hefty shot is off the post. So again, the shots are there. Not precise, though. Now it's Portland State going right to left. Ordinary foul on Washington. Wet pass. Inside the 5. And Shoemaker dangles it and is able to hang on. To the near side now, Washington B looking for the equalizer in the second quarter. In the sun. And maybe the sun bothered this Husky out of play. Goal throw for the Vikings. Hard to believe next weekend already has St. Patrick's Day. Hey. Time flies when you're having fun. And right now, Washington B would like to have fun by scoring another goal. Defenses have been tight. Ordinary foul. So Washington B will take it from long range. Off the post, off the noggin. Portland State ball. Ball's not bouncing in the Huskies' favor right now. Portland State, 2 in the first, none in the second. Washington B, 1 in the first, none in the second so far. And that time, it is to the left corner and through. Portland State extends the lead to 3-1. Here in the second quarter. Two-goal lead for the Vikings. Ordinary foul. Washington going left to right. That's an exclusion. So 6-on-5 time for the Huskies. On the perimeter. A dry pass. Then another dry pass. Egg beater motion. Another egg beater. Kick out. Not sure when to pull the trigger. It's even strength. Possession for Portland State. Now 3 minutes to go in the first half. And it's going to go the other way anyway. Whistles galore right now. Possession for the Vikings of Portland State. Going right to left right now. There's a lot of hollering. There's a push, so it's going to be an exclusion called against Washington. So Portland State will be on the power play for 20 seconds, and there's a timeout. So timeout to set up the 6-on-5. They'll be thrown to the keeper of Portland State, so we do not have the roster for the Vikings. A 20-second power play, ordinary foul. Portland State in Washington territory. Here at Willamalane Aquatic Center in Springfield, Oregon. Shot off the post. Boy, if it weren't for crossbar denial, I'm not sure who would be in the lead. There's been a lot of shots like that. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Faking about it. We'll take a shot. No dice. We'll go back to the Vikings. Still a low-scoring, close affair. Ordinary foul. Not a deep bench for Rudy Ramirez's Huskies. The Washington B. Might have been offsides. Possession Washington B. Going left to right. As the strong side is now the Portland State end. .16 on the shot clock. Rudy Ramirez is shouting, "Help her, help her." Gotta be careful that it's not helter-skelter. There's a minute, I believe, to play in this quarter and half. Not a lot of time left. 3-1 Vikings. It's going to be an exclusion on Washington B, so another power play for the Vikings of Portland State. Wet pass. Ordinary foul on Washington. Vikings with the cross. Trying to get another kick out. No call on the potential hold. Good steal for the Huskies. Huskies might want to go quick if it wants to get a goal before the buzzer. Last possession, and that will do it. We got a tight game here in Springfield, Oregon. After 14 minutes, it's Portland State in the dark caps 3, Washington B Huskies in the white 1. We'll see if there'll be a lot more scoring to come in the next half. In the second half, we'll have Washington B going right to left in white, and Portland State in the dark, left to right. As our overtime is our halftime. It's going to end soon. So the Vikings holding Washington B to just 1 goal so far. Again, Portland State defeated Washington B at Oregon State on February the 16th by a score of 11-7. So Portland State, in terms of aggregate scoring, leads the season series 14 goals to 8 goals. Because I believe before the season, the club teams agreed that if you're playing a team twice in the regular season, you'll play 2 games, but whoever has more goals will be declared the winner. It's 2 games equals 1. The circumstances remain that way. It's possession Portland State, but it's a turnover, so possession now Washington B, looking to get back in it. Hasn't scored since the first quarter. Going right to left. Trying to approach inside the Portland State 5. They do for the hole. The shot, a little short, secured by the keeper of the Vikings. The game is 3-1 in the first 14 minutes, and both teams are doing some things correctly. Ordinary foul. 2 goals is the largest lead for any team in this game. That is to the far side. Outside of Washington will fire and finds the opening. Portland State up 4-1. Looks like it might be Cat 9 doing the damage in the dark. Well, Portland State going on a bit of a run in this one. Now possession Washington. Going right to left. Will cross. Fire from long distance into the practice pool, out of play. It's a 4-0 run for Portland State. Washington B scored first. Ever since that first goal by Hannah Sokol. Couldn't get anything since. Portland State in control, going left to right. Ordinary foul, 8 seconds left. Annie Shoemaker fortunate that doesn't cross her up again. A lot of splashing. Shot clock recycles. It's possession Washington. Huskies on the attack now. Across it. Egg beater motion. Ordinary foul. Cross it again. Perimeter passing from outside to 5. See, there'll be a kick out. A lot of time off the shot clock. So we're in our first few minutes of the quarter. Another ordinary from long distance. It finds room. And Washington B on the board for the first time in the second half. And for the first time since quarter number 1. Four to 2 now. Katie Snell credited with the goal. Cap 8 in white. Possession Portland State. Things are getting a bit interesting here in Springfield, Oregon. Another ordinary foul. Might be getting chippy too. Have to back it up. On the whistle. 20 on the shot clock for Portland State. In the shadows. Where Shoemaker is, it's sparkling. And that will be out of play. You play in a place with windows, the glare can get through and cause issues. Washington B has a chance to get within 1. And there's going to be an exclusion on the Vikings. So 6 on 5 for 20 seconds. And there also has been a timeout to discuss the 6 on 5, I think. Oh wait, I think it might even be a full timeout. For Rudy Ramirez. The Washington B is on the power play after the Rudy Ramirez timeout. Rudy Ramirez, the reigning coach of the year. He also coaches Washington A. There's the cross. A fire. Beautiful finish. And Washington B is within 1. Well done for Katie Snell. I think she has both goals in this quarter. Hang on, folks. Washington B is on a 2-0 run. It is now 4-3. Portland State in dark. Over Washington B in light. 2-1 scoring run in the quarter for the Huskies. And actually, it was, I believe, credited to Hannah Sokol. And the man up. Washington be able to recover with 20 in the shot clock. Ordinary foul. There's still plenty of time. We'll advance it inside the Portland State 5. Gotta get numbers. Right now, Portland State's not having it. We'll back it up. Push off. Maybe offsides. Possession, Portland State. A wonderful defensive possession for the Vikings. Causing havoc. But Washington B still not out of it. 4-3. Portland State. By as many as 3, and Washington B for a chance to tie it. You're hearing Nicole. That's for Nicole Sargent, number 5, I believe, in white. Inside the Portland State end. Drawing ahead. Having trouble, Nicole Sargent. Ordinary foul. will take the shot over the goal. Not a good shot. Possession for Portland State. And it's going to go the other way. Wow, what a change of events. Washington gets the ball on Portland State's end. That is a gift. And gets an ordinary foul called against the Vikings. Huskies now at top. Lobs it ahead, but not a good pass. Intercepted by the Vikings. Time running out here in the quarter. Now you're hearing dump it in. We passed back. Shot clock resets. It's still 4-3 Portland State. Portland State again wearing the dart. Washington B going right to left. Might have been a ball under or a push off. Possession Portland State Vikings. After this game, they plan on bringing you Oregon A, the 8th ranked club, versus Oregon State A. At around 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Circumstances permitting. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Washington B will secure possession. Andy Shoemaker from the Sun with the outlet. Numbers coming across for Washington. Now to the far side. Corner. Takes it back. Ordinary against Portland State. Across. From up top. The pass. Egg beater. From long distance. Had a little bit too much Wheaties. Could be the last possession of the quarter. It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to take the shot. Shoemaker denies it. Well, we got a good one brewing here at Willamalane Aquatic Center in Springfield, Oregon. It was quite a bit of a run by Washington B, a 2-0 run. It ends up being after 3 quarters. Portland State in the dark caps 4, Washington B in the white 3. Are we going to have a winner at regulation? Find out when we return to the CWPA network. Now for the sprint. It's Washington B in white going right to left. Portland State in dark left to right, and Washington B wins the sprint. That could be big right now. Washington B has the momentum. Currently on a 2-0 run. Trailed 3-1 at halftime. Washington B scored the first goal in the game, but has not led ever since. Lost control. Possession. Portland State. Oh, wow. Look at that. Portland State's Cap 14 able to get Andy Shoemaker way out of the goal. And it's now 5-3 Portland State. Oh, that one's going to sting a bit for Andy Shoemaker. Portland State now leads the season series 16 goals to 10 after the 11-7 win in a meeting last month. Ordinary foul in the Portland State end. Possession Washington B. Trailed by as many as 3. Recently got it down to 1, and again, that's into the practice pool out of play. Goal throw for the Vikings. Portland State 2 in the first, 1 the second, 1 the third, 1 the fourth, 1-0, 2 and 0 for Wash B. Portland State now getting instruction. Tipped by Washington. Portland State able to maintain it. into no man's land. Annie Shoemaker has to be really careful. As the last goal by Portland State, she was way out of the cage and it was a wide open net. Possession Washington. Crossing it up. We'll do it to the right side and it crosses through. Looks like it's Hannah Sokol. At 19, it's 5-4, team in the Dark Caps. Still plenty of time in this game. So 5-4 Portland State, 1 goal apiece in this period. About a minute plus into it. 7 minutes per quarter. And it is taken away, I believe, by Hannah Sokol. Chance to tie it up. Open water. Washington B ties it up. What a job well done for Nicole Sargent, Cap 5. And what had 1 point been a 3-goal deficit. With 3 goals in the last 4 by the teams combined, Washington B equalizes it. Trailed 4-3 after 3. So, if the goal was good, the game is tied. Possession will be retained by the Vikings of PSU going left to right. Goals by Hannah Sokol and Nicole Sargent erased the 5-3 deficit to make it 5-5. And that's a shot clock violation. Portland State right now in a bit of the blues, having a case of the blues. This could be Washington B's first chance at taking a lead since 1-0. Here's the shot into the left corner, and Washington B has rallied back to take the lead. Nicole Sargent with another. It's a 3-1 scoring run in this quarter, and Washington B is in it to win it. 1 point trailed by 3. Lost 11-7 to the Vikings in Corvallis, Oregon last month. Unbelievable. 1, 0, 2, and 3, the scoring line for Washington B. Washington B had 1 goal entering the third quarter. It was 4-3, entering the fourth, Portland State. And that is tipped and secured by Portland State. What a save. Got a timeout. Ooh, we need some time to take a breather. Before the timeout, Sophia Cole swooped in for a steal as the counterattack was stopped by the Portland State goalie. The goalie was tied. The timeout was called by Portland State with 3:28 to go. That was the clarification, the confirmation. All from back in, Portland State really needed that timeout. Momentum clearly shifting to the team in the Whitecaps. After this game, Oregon A, the 8th ranked club against Oregon State A. Hopefully the circumstances permit. We plan on bringing it to you after hopefully the conclusion of this one. We'll go back to the Huskies with about 3 minutes to go in regulation. 6-5. Sidearms it. Takes a wet pass on the wing. Now inside the Portland State 2. On the far side. Ordinary foul. Now up top. fires off the crossbar, and Portland State survives by the equipment savior. Portland State will now be dribbling left to right in the Dark Caps. Scored the first goal of this quarter to take a 5-3 lead. It's a 3-0 run for Washington B. Its second run of 2 or more in a row. Portland State really needs to get going. This would be a very heartbreaking loss should this result hold. It looked like Portland State had everything going toward it, and then all of a sudden the wheels coming completely apart in the fourth quarter. Shot fired! No worries! Portland State, Cap 9 I think, got it in. And it's 6-6. That was a much needed score. So the game is tied with 2 minutes and change. So 6-6, about 2 minutes to go for the hole. That's an exclusion. So Washington B on the 6-on-5 for 20 seconds. Every play is critical from here on out. This has been a good one throughout. Faking about it. Cross. Delivery. Ooh, deflected, and it will be a penalty kill for the Vikings. Portland State with a chance to regain the lead. Time running out. A minute and 16 left in regulation. It's going to be an exclusion on Washington B, so it's a 6-on-5 for Portland State and a timeout. Let's look at Portland State here. We'll reset. Portland State, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Washington B, 1 in the first, none in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Scored 1 goal total in the first 14 minutes ever since. Went on a couple of runs, 2-0 run and then a 3-0 run. The most recent run ended with Portland State tying it up at 6. Portland State out of the timeout with the rock. A minute and 12 to go in regulation, going left to right, squared at 6. Ordinary foul. If the game remains tied for the second straight day, Portland State will be playing in overtime. Yesterday lost 9-8 in OT to Oregon B. That's for the hole. A lot of splashing. No penalty. And it's Washington ball. Portland State still having trouble on the 6-on-5. The ball out of the hands. Under a minute to go. It'll be an exclusion. Here's a chance for Washington B to regain the lead. Looks like it might be Jane Wynn or Hannah Sokol flinching it out. And now Rudy Ramirez will call a timeout. Under a minute to play. Portland State in dark 6. Washington B in white 6. 22 seconds in the game. Shot clock unplugged. If there's a goal here, then it'll be hard for the other team to win. There's a chance that Washington B might hold on until the final second. So it's 6-on-5, shot clock unplugged, game tied. Out of play. Possession, Portland State. Ladies and gentlemen, We are going to overtime. Washington could not get it done, but the Huskies, with a 3-0 run at one point, able to overcome at one point a 3-goal deficit, and it's now Portland State in dark 6, Washington B in white 6, and for the second straight day, Portland State has to go overtime. First of 2 overtime sessions will be coming up on the CWPA network. So rules are similar in overtime, 6-on-6. Still, there's an exclusion 6-on-5 for 15 seconds, or 20 seconds. So we'll go to our first of 2 overtime periods. This is not golden goal. So if you give up a goal, you regroup and try to rebound with one of your own. Portland State in dark, going left to right in this first overtime. Washington B in white, right to left. Portland State leads the season series aggregate 17 goals to 13 goals. Fans here definitely getting money's worth out of this one. Portland State, second overtime game at the least this weekend. Lost 9-8 in overtime last night to Oregon B. Washington B wins the sprint. It's a 3-minute period. Shot clock still at 35. Washington B going right to left in this first overtime. In white for the hole. Fires stopped by the Portland State keeper. Portland State taking a lot of time on the outlet. Stifling defense right now. Shot clock at 17 with 2:20 to go in the overtime. The first overtime. 9 on the shot clock at mid-pool. You got to get a shot off sometime. Here's the effort. Off the post. Shot clock did not reset. It does now. 2 minutes to go in the first overtime. Portland State in dark 6. Washington B in white 6. Possession Huskies going right to left. Egg beater. Fired. Wow. That goes to the Portland State bench out of play. Possession now for the Vikings of Portland State. Going left to right. At mid-pool. Ordinary foul. 21 on the shot clock. About halfway through this first overtime period. Out of 2. There will be another OT. Portland State having trouble getting past this Washington defense. Hurls it up. And that will be easy pickings for Annie Shoemaker. Washington B looking to regain the edge. Did not lead by more than 1. Led by 1 a couple of times. There's the pass at the top of the key outside the PSU 5. Do another cross. Trying to feel the heat right now. Wet pass. We'll take the shot. Wow, look at that stop. Good reflex for the PSU keeper. There's a chance that, like last night's 9-8 overtime loss to Oregon B, Portland State is going to have the same score as it did in regulation after the first overtime. It was 8-8 to regulation in that loss to the Ducks last night. 8-8 after one overtime. So it was 9-8 Oregon B. And I think it's going to be an exclusion on Washington. So player up for Portland State. And we might have a timeout. Shot clock unplugged. So could be the final possession of our first overtime. Our first game in the morning was Oregon B over Oregon State B, 10-7. The game after that, Washington A cruised past Western Washington, 18-3. It's nice from time to time to have games like this. Also means that our schedule is going to be altered. There are a few games in which A's are facing B's in the same schools, so shouldn't factor in that badly. So shot clock unplugged. Ordinary foul. Couple seconds left. Whoa. Time is about to expire. Pass. And we're going into the second overtime period. Still tied. After one overtime, it's Portland State in the dark 6 and Washington Huskies B in the white 6. Can someone score, or are we going to need sudden death? Now we have ourselves an old-fashioned tightrope crosser. An old-fashioned overtime, great defensive game. There you see the Huskies of Washington B. And there are the Vikings getting set for the sprint. Just like last night, Portland State had lost to Oregon B in overtime 9-8. The first overtime there was no scoring. Here's the official checking up on the scorekeeper's table just to make sure everything's up to snuff. And we should be good to go. Portland State, Washington B, ready for action. It'll be Portland State ball. Going right to left. And 3 minutes remaining in this overtime. It is not golden goal. On the far side. Line of approach to Washington end. Ordinary foul. Boy, the defenses have really tightened up here. There's a shot, and it finds the gap. Portland State on top on the goal by Cap 14, 7-6. That is the first lead by Portland State since 5-4 in the fourth quarter. So now Washington B needs to follow suit. Cannot! 2:13 to go in overtime 2. Ordinary foul. Vikings going right to left. In dark. From long distance! Out of play. 2 minutes to go. What's impressive is Washington B has a short bench. Never say die attitude is keeping the Huskies in it. Going left to right. About a minute and 37 to go. Ordinary foul. Washington ball. To the near side. Under ordinary. Dumps it off. That's going to be an exclusion foul. So Washington on a 6-on-5 for 20 seconds. Need to take its time. Oh, that's off the post! Not a good break there. Almost a minute left in this overtime. 7-6. Portland State 2-1-1-2 None in the first overtime, 1 in the second overtime. Possession for Portland State. Inside. Possession for the Huskies. Washington, 1 in the first, none in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, none in the first overtime, none so far in the second OT. Gotta look for that open pass. Here's an opportunity off the post. Is there a second effort? Other way. Time running out. Shot clock essentially similar to the game clock. How about this? Portland State, one day after losing in overtime. Hold on. There was a push-off. Timeout. What the heck is going on here? Portland State had the ball. And did it have a push-off? Wow. Washington B might have a chance to tie it up. That is outrageous. Well, Portland State, instead of advancing it ahead, try to play keep away. And it looks like it will be a 6-on-5, 10 seconds left. So 10.2 seconds left. Washington B with the ball, I think. Maybe. Yes. That's crazy. Portland State had the ball. Gave it up. Okay, 9 seconds left. How are you going to draw it up? Inside. It's going to go against Washington, and Portland State is going to pull out the victory. What a game, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish. Final score here. It is Portland State 7, Washington B 6 in overtime. What a game. Never say die attitude, and Portland State, a night after losing a game in overtime, is able to win one in the extra sessions.